Oui.
Pour Radio France.
I'm from Radio France.
Do you, with the training session this morning, did Kylian show you enough? Was there enough of a guarantee to know that he's available to start the game tomorrow against Poland? And how are you feeling about the fact that he's got? Yeah, he's getting better every day. He's getting. Yesterday, he was in our training sessions. The bruise has actually gone down a lot. He's getting used to playing with the mask. So he wants to play. He's raring to go. He wanted to play against the Netherlands and he wants to play tomorrow against Poland. Good evening, Didier Dominique from Le Parisien. So first or second, you'd have 5 or 6 days before going to the round of 16. 6 or 7? 6 or 7. I don't think that your maths is right, but it's fine. Is that something that you're thinking about going into the game tomorrow? Maybe, but that could also be part of how Nagelsmann's thinking with Germany. I don't know. For us, the objective is to win the game so that we are able to get that top spot. It's as simple as that. And we know that we will have a little bit more time maybe compared to others for our third games and then a game after that.
Bonjour Didier. Bertrand.
Good evening, Didier. Bertrand over here from l'équipe. You have put forward 2 different formations against Austria and the Netherlands. So which one can we count on seeing tomorrow? Tomorrow? Well, you'll see tomorrow. Okay, question answered. France hasn't scored a goal since the beginning of the competition. Is this something that are you going to give? Do you know what? Ask me tomorrow.
One question per person, please. Yeah, but I'm giving the rule.
What was the question? You'll see. I've got 2 options. I haven't decided. Maybe in my head, yes. No, I haven't yet taken a decision. I haven't got the go-ahead from the medical team. I need to chat with different players, let's say.
Bonjour Didier.
Good evening, Didier. Emmanuel from l'Agence France Presse. I have a question pertaining to Upamecano. He seems to be a little bit away with the fairies, but now he is concentrated, and he will be concentrated. Is this your doing? Did you have a little bit of a stern word with him? Was it about calming him down? Well, it's quite nice of you to say that it was my doing, but that's what I'm here for, my staff as well. And yes, it's maybe through conversations that we can have with our players, but also getting to know them, their strengths, their weaknesses, that we're able to hit our objective. It's the same for any of our players. We want to put them in the best or the most optimum conditions possible. Then it's up to them to do what they do on the pitch. But yes, when Dio came to us, it was great for us that he could play the last 2 games with his clubs. But yeah, he spent a lot of time with his club not playing. There were a couple of physical issues, fitness issues. And I needed to deal with that in the friendlies prior to the Euro starting, but it's important for him to stay on top of his game. Good evening, Didier. Antoine Griezmann has not had the best performances since the beginning of the Euros. Is this something that is a cause of concern for you? Do you think that he needs to maybe rest up? I'll answer the first question, but not the second. He was better on the second game, but apart from the 2 chances that he had, even though the first was maybe a little bit more complicated, the fact that he should have maybe scored, or he could have scored one of the 2, would have maybe changed the game. But from a fitness standpoint, I know him very well. He had a season that was quite heavy going, and there were games that were very intense. He was very present in midfield. He was running back to defend as well.
These are high-level games.
C'est pas évident, mais voilà, c'est
They're not
juste le
easy.
fait qu'il n'ait pas
But
eu
if it's
l'efficacité sur
just
ces deux
because
occasions sur
he
le
wasn't
dernier match
able
où il
to
était
score
mieux
the
que sur
last
le
game,
premier, avec un
but once
positionnement
again, I think
aussi
his performance last
différent
time
où
was
il
better than
était
the
plus
first game.
milieu de terrain sur le premier, alors que
But
sur le
his
deuxième, il
position was
était
also
plus comme
different for the curtain raiser. He was playing
un deuxième
in the
attaquant.
midfield, and maybe tomorrow he was. Yesterday he was more like a
Bonjour Didier.
second forward. Good evening, Didier.
Il existe une
I'm from Le
probabilité
Républicain.
quand même assez importante que vous soyez
Is
qualifié dès ce soir. Est-ce que ça changerait un peu
I
l'approche du
think that
match et
even from
certains choix
tonight
pour
you'll
demain?
know whether you're qualified or not, and would this change something for the game
Non.
tomorrow? No.
Notre objectif, je vous l'ai dit,
No, our
c'est
objective
de
will be the
gagner le
same.
match et de
Our
finir
objective is to win the
pour
game
tout faire pour
tomorrow
finir à
and
la
to
première
finish.
place.
And we're going to do
Même
everything
si
we can to finish top of the
cette
group.
probabilité-là existe,
Even if
mais
this
ça
probability, as you say,
va
exists,
pas changer
it's not going
l'objectif
to
qui est le nôtre.
change our objective for tomorrow.
Bonjour Didier, Vincent Duluc à l'équipe.
Good
On a vu
evening,
à
Vincent
la Coupe
Deluca
du Monde
from
2022
l'équipe. We saw at the
l'importance sur la fin de
2022 World
compétition
Cup just
d'avoir
how
pu faire jouer
important at the end of the
des joueurs au
competition
troisième
that
match
it was
et
to have
socialement et
played
esthétiquement.
your
Est-ce
players
que
in
c'est
the
quelque chose qu'on peut
third game for
reproduire à
their
chaque fois?
fitness,
Est-ce que
for
c'est
their.
indispensable, pas
Is this something
indispensable?
that you're going to do this every
C'est la
time? Is this
situation idéale,
indispensable?
bien évidemment.
It would be an
Mais
ideal
pour ça,
situation, yes,
c'est se
but for
retrouver, même
this,
si
you need to
Doha,
find
je
yourselves
l'avais
in
fait
a.
peut-être un
Even
peu
in Doha, I did it
à l'excès parce qu'on était sûr d'être
maybe
qualifié premier.
excessively, but we
Mais
knew
cette
that
fois,
we were
et le
already
troisième match, on peut être
getting that top
qualifié, mais
spot for the round of
pas
16.
premier.
But
J'ai jamais voulu
this is different because we know that
faire
we
de
can qualify, but
calcul
we
en
don't know
disant
that we're
tableau du
going to
bas
be
ou
top.
du
That I
haut.
don't like
J'aime pas
looking
ça.
at this. I
Donc
don't
on
like
fait
going
en
to the
sorte
drawing board and saying if they
d'obtenir
do this,
la
we do
meilleure
this.
place. Mais
I
évidemment,
just
dans
want
la
to go
gestion
in looking for that top
du
spot.
groupe,
But yes,
oui,
if we're talking about how I'm
évidemment
managing
que
my
c'est quelque chose
squad,
qui peut être
it is something that could
important. Tout dépend
be important. It
des
just
situations,
depends
bien
on
évidemment, mais de
where
toute
we're
manière,
finding ourselves at.
mon
But
objectif et celui du staff, c'est
my objective and
de maintenir tout le
my
monde et que tout le
staff
monde
are looking
se
at
sente prêt.
ensuring that everyone feels ready.
Bonjour, Clément Gavard pour SoFoot.
Good evening.
Un peu dans la continuité de la question précédente.
For Sofoot, I'm going to bounce off the question that was just asked. You had two changes for both of the two previous games, and maybe things didn't go as you wanted. What are you going to say to the players that are not going to play or who are not playing a lot? And is there a bit of frustration mounting amongst the young players who are sitting on the bench?
Si je pouvais répartir à tout le monde,
No, if I could give everyone playing time, I would. But mathematically, it's just
c'est impossible. Donc, ça passe
impossible.
par des échanges, bien évidemment, mais ils sont là.
I
Donc, quand il y en a
talk
23,
to them.
si
They're
vous voulez, je
there
peux
when there are
ressortir
23 members of
les
the squad.
statistiques
If you
qui
want,
ont
I
été
can get the
sorties. Quand il y en a
statistics
23,
out
il y en
for
a 4 qui
you.
jouent pas en moyenne. Donc,
When there are
25.
23, about 4 of them
Et ce
don't
sera
play. When there are
pas moins,
25 of
mais
them, I don't know what the
à
average would
travers
be, but there are players that are not getting playing
les
time.
entraînements, ça reste une chose, et d'autant plus que c'est
We
pas jeune ou
some
moins
that
jeune.
they're obviously giving it their all in their
Tous les joueurs
playing
qui
in their
peuvent
training
prétendre
sessions, but it's not about being
à être
young or not
titulaires.
young or veterans. Everyone
Voilà,
has the right to
vous
start.
allez me dire, c'est un problème de riches, mais
And
il y en a 11 et oui,
yeah, it's a
je fais en sorte
first world problem.
de pouvoir
I've only got 11 that
concerner un
start each
petit peu
time, and I've got a
le
pool of 20.
maximum.
We'll say.
Bonsoir Didier. Charlotte
Good
Harper
evening,
from The Athletic.
Didier.
Oui.
Charlotte Harper.
Avant le match contre les Pays-Bas, vous
Before the
avez dit
game
que vous n'êtes
against the
jamais
Netherlands,
inquiet.
you
Non.
said that you weren't worried. You're
Il y
never
avait une
worried.
question sur l'efficacité
So
de vos
we
joueurs et
spoke
vous avez
about
dit non, je ne
the
m'inquiète pas et je ne suis
efficiency
jamais
and
inquiet.
whether you were worried about
Y
this,
a-t-il
the
quelque
fact that
chose
you
qui
didn't have
qui
that
vous inquiète en
cutting
tant
edge
que
in the
Didier
final third. So
Deschamps,
is this something that
être
Didier
humain
Deschamps needs to
Ah.
worry
dans le
about?
foot
Didier
ou
Deschamps,
dehors de
the
foot?
human being.
Ma vie en
Oh,
dehors, c'est autre
whoa,
chose en
whoa,
tant que
whoa, whoa. Okay,
sélectionneur.
no, that's my private
Non,
life. We're here
la
to talk about me as a
tranquillité,
head
la
coach.
sérénité
No, I've got a cool
par
head.
rapport
I keep my head on my
avec mon
shoulders.
staff pour tout faire du mieux possible
I do
en
everything I can
interne.
with
Et
my
puis après,
staff
la
to
vérité, c'est celle
ensure
du
that
terrain. Il n'y a
everything
que
goes
celle-là
swimmingly,
qui
and
compte.
then
Donc,
obviously we
je ne suis
can't
pas inquiet,
control what's
évidemment.
going on the pitch. I'm not worried per se, no.
J'aurais préféré qu'on ait
I would have
un peu
preferred
plus d'efficacité.
that
Ça nous aurait
we
permis
scored
d'avoir 2
maybe
points de plus. Mais
a little bit more. We would have had
voilà, on a un
2
troisième
more
match
points in the bag, but we've got a
de très haut
third game
niveau.
to
Tous les
play.
matchs sont
High level
souvent
play, high level game, and these
difficiles. J'ai
games are
regardé
very
celui
often
d'hier de
quite
l'Allemagne face
difficult.
à une
I
très
watched
belle équipe
Germany's game yesterday
suisse.
against a
Voilà,
wonderful Swiss team. a lot of intensity. So it's nice to think about me, whether I'm concerned in my private. I'm not going to talk about my private life, but no, I'm very positive, regardless of the circumstances or the situations that the tournament throws my way. And I try and ensure that the same can be said for all the players. Here, Didier, over here for Europe 1, what are your observations with regards to Poland as an opponent? You will need to be even more concentrated, I imagine, because Poland is out. They've got nothing to play for. Lewandowski will probably be playing as well. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it could be his last game. Same for Chesney, the goalkeeper, but I'm not sure he's playing. But I don't know. We will be very cautious. They had a great game against the Netherlands with a very specific formation where we have the same players. Maybe, but there'll be others as well. And even if they're not looking to qualify, I'm happy that the Poland team will be motivated, raring to go, and looking to pull the best performance out the bag that they can. Once again, we haven't. They're quite tall, they're quite stealthy players, which means that they're quite good when it comes to set pieces, and their formation is very well defined, even though maybe they could change their formation. But they tend to have a three-man back line, and it is a different type of opponent. Canal Sport Plus, let's come back to Kylian. We haven't spoken about him for a little bit, about his mask. Oh yeah, probably 2 minutes that we haven't mentioned Kylian. So he's getting used to the mask, but has this changed something? The way he's breathing, the way he's seeing? No, breathing, no. No. The way he sees, yes. I've never had to play with a mask, but I imagine that for those who have played with a mask, it's not something that is... I wouldn't say it's a constraint per se, but it does limit your vision. But the reason he's wearing the mask is because he needs to protect his face in certain instances that could occur. But yes, I imagine that it does limit his vision. So do you think that you'll play him elsewhere? Maybe play him on the side rather than in the middle? No, context different. So whether you're playing in the midfield or the defender, it doesn't change. There will be contact, regardless of where you're playing. Whenever you've got those one-on-ones, it's about his field of vision here, but everything depends on the situations and how he's positioned. But it's not huge. Maybe we're talking about a tenth of a second. Even for Kylian, tenth of a second is 30 meters. For me, it's 100 meters, but hey. Obviously, yes, it's maybe hindering, but it's something that he will get used to. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever worn a mask and played with a mask, but it's something that you need to get used to. It's like when you have those 3D glasses, even though we know technology has got a lot better, and we have masks that are quite thin as possible. Good evening, Didier. I'm from L'Équipe. After the two first games, there was a little bit of criticism with the lack of magic, the lack of show put on by the French national team. Is this something that irritates you, or do you not care? Well, you said it. You said it. It's up to you to comment, to say a word. I don't know. What I can say to you is that it is a little bit bothersome to not have scored after all of the chances that we had, especially because we tend to control the game a lot more than our opponents does. We've been able to create 5 or 6 chances, but we haven't scored them all. But you're free to say whatever you want. You can comment on this. We have popular support, and we've got about 10 million watching every game, and I think that if people don't like what they see, they channel hop. Obviously, if they've paid to come to the stadium, they're going to stay until the very end. Everyone It's free to do what they want. The fact that we haven't scored is the negative point, yes.
Didier, Jack Rosser from The Sun.
Je mets ça là? Oui.
N'Golo Kante said that the aim tomorrow was to score as many goals as possible. Is that your message, considering the lack of goals so far?
Bah déjà. Hein? Il n'a pas tout à fait dit ça. Ah bon? Ah, je sais pas alors. C'est la traduction qui n'a pas été bonne alors.
That's not quite what he said. He said that we want to win the game tomorrow, but it depends on us. It doesn't only depend on what we're doing, it also depends on what else is happening. More goals we score, the higher the chance that we finish on top. Yes, if we can win the game and score as many goals as possible, this will increase the likelihood that we'll be able to finish top of the group tomorrow. Thank you very much, Didier. No training session, but we'll see you all tomorrow.